Hello, you're listening to the Blue Monday podcast. This is a 3 times weekly audio show looking into the exciting happenings of Ipswich Town Football Club. My name is Benjamin Bloom and I'll be here each and every Monday for this, the flagship show, with ITFC aficionado David Diamond for a sometimes irreverent but always informative hour of football conversation. So make your Monday a Blue Monday. Right, Dave?
Hello. All right. How was your Christmas celebrations? Was it?
Boring. Went to sleep for 3 hours on Christmas Day afternoon, yeah.
Oh, you told me that. You told me this yesterday, and I thought you might have been footballed out.
Yeah, you do get a little
Championshiped out.
I was certainly footballed out after Boxing Day. So we delayed this podcast because if we did the normal Monday, it would have come out on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So then a match the next day. So we've got 2 games, Dave, to cover. And
yeah, with that. Sorry, Ben. I was going to say with that, I'm not sure we'd have fared very well against the Queen's speech.
Really? Oh, okay. I don't watch the Queen's speech. I'm really bar humbug, aren't I? Should we do some news, Dave?
News.
Okay. Ipswich Town take up their option on Jonas Knudson's contract, taking him up to the summer of 2019. The Dane has now played over 100 games for Ipswich and is only 25 years old. Good call on the contract, Dave, and a good signing, really.
Yeah, very good. He's been much improved this year. Much improved, hasn't he? And I do think a lot of that is perhaps, I don't know why, due to that spell he had at left centre-back. I think he played so well there. I just think it's given him confidence in his overall game at left-back. Perversely, I think he's played really well.
Yeah, I like that. I like that theory.
Mate,
and
thank you.
On the January transfer window, Mick says, unless we sold anybody, I doubt very much we'd be going out and buying anybody. And I think if everybody's fit, it's unlikely we'd be adding to it. Again, it would be loans or not much else. So, Dave, talk to me about the squad and the impact of injuries and possible need for new bodies.
Well, okay, so I don't think there's any secret unless he does a bit of a U-turn that Kiefer Moore's coming back. So that's going to be an interesting one. Can
I give you a Kiefer Moore anecdote, Dave? Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, please do.
Right. So, do you remember I went to watch Sheffield Wednesday versus Wolves? I should have mentioned this on the last podcast, shouldn't I?
Was that pre-last podcast or after? I can't remember.
It was pre, because that was a Friday night game, and then we beat Reading, didn't we?
You were salivating about Neves in midfield, weren't you? I remember. Yeah.
So whenever I go to Barnsley or Leeds or Sheffield, I always end up at the Meadowhall shopping centre because there's a load of nice food to choose from. So I go into the Meadowhall shopping centre. Go in a few shops, and I get out of the Disney store, and lo and behold, who is standing in the middle of the Meadowhall shopping centre at a strapping 6'18" in the middle of December, Dave?
Near the Disney store?
Near the Disney store, just loitering outside.
Large Mickey Mouse? No. It's Kiefer, isn't it?
It's Kiefer Roberto Francisco Moore.
No!
So, no.
Incredible.
Normally when I meet somebody who...
Selfie?
I'll tell you about the selfie in a minute. Who I kind of want to talk to. I normally kind of walk past them once, double take, figure out what I'm going to say so I'm not one of those annoying pricks. And then the whole podcast listenership goes, yeah, good luck with that, Benny. So... I didn't, though. I went straight up to him and I went, excuse me. I did that awful thing you should never say. Excuse me, you're Kiefer Moore. Are you Kiefer Moore? And he kind of grinned and he went, yeah, I am. And I went, hey there, I'm an Ipswich fan. And I don't know how to gauge his reaction. He kind of, right, okay. And I went, would you mind if we took a photo? I've got the photo, which I'll send to our little group with me, you and Statman, but my hair looks really shite in it.
It's not for public domain.
Well, the other thing is I'm 5'8", yeah, and Kiefer Moore is 6'6",
Whatever.
7.
Is it a comedy? Is it a comedy photo?
Well, you have to get the... Kiefer's attractive, isn't he? He's a good-looking man, so it doesn't...
I would say... Well, my memory of him is he's very well groomed as well.
Yeah,
Ben.
he's a good-looking man. So what I should have done is just looked after myself because he looks very handsome. I look ridiculous. I've got like a wonky head. So anyway, I say to him, "Oh, so you're coming
Hang
back in January?" And he says, "Yeah, I think I am." It kind of a bit non-committal. And then I said, "Oh, yeah, well, good luck with everything. And I expected that we'd see you for the FA Cup, but you're cup tied." And literally at this point, when I knew more about his career than he did, he actually started walking as I was talking to him. He was no. "Right, mate, you've shook my hand. I've given you the time of day. Stop talking to me now. Leave me alone. I'm about to meet my girlfriend, presumably."
You're going to freak me out now. You're a stalker, man. You're some weird stalker.
Alan Partridge with the tattoo guy. So
that's great. Good story. Good anecdote.
I'm not going to do that thing where people say, "Oh yeah, he was a really, really nice bloke," because he was just he was just a normal, and he gave me the time of day.
Shy.
Yeah, he was a little bit, but you can imagine though in his position he couldn't be asked to stand and talk for 5 minutes with some weirdo.
Wasn't prepared to chat with some sort of hipster musician type.
Well, because what he probably would have been happy with was, "Oh, you're a footballer, I know who you are," photo. Not, "You're a footballer, I know who you are, and that you're cup tied, and when you're likely to come back to the parent club." It all got a bit. I think. By the way, your
goal, not only your goals, but your assists this season is about up to 5. That's incredible, Keeper.
You've been checking your stats, right? Dave, you're going to sigh now because once again I have left my pad downstairs. So I'm going to try not to drop the microphone, and I'm going to be back in 15 seconds to get my pad. I'm sorry for my unprofessionalness. Shall we go to Wolves, Dave?
Yeah, but you were asking me before you went off on the Kiefer Moore tangent, though. You were asking me about comings and goings, weren't you?
Oh, shite. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, what was the question? I just went off on one, didn't I? Let me read the end of the question. Talk to me about the squad, impact of injuries and need for new bodies. Sorry.
Yeah, and then I made that terrible mistake of saying Kiefer Moore is coming back, and you leapt all over it.
Sorry.
And off you went off on a tangent, just like me.
Sorry.
No, that's good. I love the anecdote. Great anecdote. He gave you a sort of kind of a dab at the end. Is that what they call it? Almost.
A dab?
I don't know what they call it. No. I don't know.
I've got no idea what you're talking about, Dave.
He gave you I don't know. Anyway.
He ghosted me.
Ghosted you, that's right.
He walked off.
Yeah, he probably,
A dab is what Paul Pogba does, Dave.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I've got it totally wrong, haven't I?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Move on.
Yeah, move on. Cut it all out. Right, so we're ready to go?
No, not cutting all of that out. No, you're going to answer the question now.
Oh, okay. So so the question was, so Moore's coming back. Injuries are starting to impact. I mean, midfield. I mean, Adeyemi is just a missing man, and there's nothing from the club about that either. Nothing on CWTD. Never hear anything coming out of the club about him. Christ knows what's going on there. Apparently, Luke Hyam is back training. I heard last week, but I should think he's miles away. He's miles away from it. And obviously Hughes out long term, Dazelle out long term, and Skews. I mean, so I understand there was, you think Cole Skews usually misses a game or two when he has an injury, and he's usually back pretty quick. Although he did have an ankle injury. Was it last season? He was out for a month, maybe? I don't know. He's usually back fairly quickly. I was a bit surprised he wasn't there yesterday, and I think I read somewhere that he's not going to be. It's going to be very doubtful for Saturday as well. So. Yeah, and then that's then you're dragging into January, so I would assume that they will be scouring or certainly looking at the loan market then.
For a 33-year-old central midfielder who's played over 200 games, you think?
Oh, right. Have I missed something here?
No, that's just my prediction of what will happen.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Sorry, it was very specific, wasn't it?
Oh, so you were a bit. If I hang on, have I missed something here? An experienced player to come in on loan, I guess, wouldn't be an experienced championship player wouldn't be a problem. I don't think those injuries are starting to rack up, aren't they? I mean, it's just, and they all frustratingly just all in one position.
Yeah, centre back in August, and then centre midfield in November and December.
Yeah. And apparently, Nydam's been struggling, I think, with the injury, and I believe Downs has as well. So look, yeah, I see a need for strengthening there. I know a lot of people have bandied on about perhaps also strengthening at central defence. Personally, I think we've got okay cover there with Smith. Smith's obviously fit. He's now regular on the bench. Certainly has been for the last 2 or 3 games. Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I don't think we're going to. I mean, okay, we've got Derby at home Saturday. We'll do well to beat them. I mean, we could be, and this is me doom and gloom, but Saturday going into the new year, we could be 8 points off it, couldn't we?
Well, you just kind of skipped to the end of the podcast there, Dave, haven't you?
Well, okay, but you know what I'm saying, though, Ben.
Yeah, I do.
It's not. Like a couple of weeks ago, 10 days ago, perhaps we were thinking, hey, Christ, okay, we're not going to be quite in the position we were in 14-15, when we're like second, a point off the top, and we didn't go for it. All right, but we could be like maybe in 6th or a point away from 6th. Oh, we should have a big push for it, but I just can't see it.
Well, let's talk about these games then first, Dave, because there have been 2 games since the last podcast. So we're going to go to Wolves first. So it was away at the league leaders. Let me go through this Wolves team, which, as we expected, played this nice imaginative 3-4-3 system. So Ruddy, Bolly, Cody Bennett across the back, Douglas Doherty, the wing backs, Neves and Saiz, the 2 centre midfielders, with Jota, Bonatini, Cavaliero up front. The Ipswich team, I'm racking my brains now. I think it was 1 change. I think it was just Kenlock in for Knudsen, possibly 2. I can't quite remember. So
obviously,
goal, Spence right back, Chambers
Stu's
and Webster centre halves, Kenlock left back, Connolly and Brew were the 2 midfielders. So yeah, as you say, Brew came in for Skews. Ward on the right of the 3 behind the front, Selena on the left, Waghorn down the middle, and Garner the main striker. So yeah, Dave, as you say, Knudsen out and Skews out. Right, and I could barely see the first 15 minutes because I was upstairs in the Steve Bull stand with the Wolverhampton winter sunshine beaming in my eyes. It was one of those annoying ones. Can you imagine buying a season ticket in a seat where you can't see the first 10 minutes every time the sun's out?
Yeah, I mean, it must be a bit like that. There's some those lower seats or even a lot of the seats in the Cobbold stand, because when the sun is out there, particularly early season, it's really dazzling over there. Not that I've sat over there much. The only other thing I'd mention there is Adam McDonald was recalled from his loan at Aldershot early, and he was straight on the bench, wasn't he? Hence, as I was saying, our lack of midfield cover.
Yeah, he's moved right up the air to the centre midfield front position in the last few years.
Yeah, I think by the sound of it, I think he's had a really good time at Aldershot. I know I think he scored a few goals, 2 or 3 maybe. I think he got a red card along the way somewhere, but sounds like he's done quite well. And also Gergin's still out. Well, I don't know, there's a bit worrying there. Gergin's still out with a hip injury. Crow was again sub-keeper, wasn't he?
Yes, indeed. So Jota goes down after 3, but he's okay. The early pattern is Wolves on top, but kind of slow in possession, and both teams sitting back. And Ipswich's shape a bit more advanced than kind of expected. Sorry, I said in the build-up that it was 4-2-3-1. It actually wasn't. It was more like a 4-4-2, which I thought was the right thing for Mick to do, given when I saw Wolves against Sheffield Wednesday, they just didn't have anyone near the kind of 3 at the back.
Who was so was it Waghorn pushing up with Garner then?
Yeah, so Waghorn, he didn't play right up, but he played in pretty much the same slot he has been when it's been 4-2-3-1, but
a bit
the
further
midfielders
advanced, but yeah, okay.
The midfielders behind him were, there wasn't anyone alongside him basically. Garner wins a free kick 25 yards out. Waghorn, poor effort with that one. About 15 to 20 minutes, Dave, Ipswich come into it, start committing a few forward. Webster had a run forward, Kenlock had a run forward. Silly Mick maddening pass by Selena across his own box is cut out by Jota.
You love that.
He gets his shot off straight at Bart. So first effort on target for the Wolves on 25 minutes. So it wasn't a siege by any means. Garner draws another foul on 30, works Bolly quite well. Free kick in a good position, and they rotated it here. Selena takes this one, and Ruddy catches it. Chance for Wolves here, clip ball over the top. Jota goes right to left. Kenlock loses him. You'll notice that Wolves have swapped Cavaliero and Jota at this point. We'll talk about that when we analyse Kenlock a bit. So Kenlock loses him, but then chases back. Jota controls it, and Kenlock blocks him at the end. And then from the corner, it gets cleared out, and Neves volleyed over, which takes us to the 39th minute, Dave. and the goal, which I would love you to describe.
Yeah, it's another bad one. Well, I'll say it's a bad one. It's very similar to goals at Villa and Borough. I think very similar to the Villa goal, this one, where I think ultimately anyway. But again, it's disappointing. It's 40 minutes, so as you said there, we've kept them pretty much at arm's length. All right, it's not really a siege on our goal, is it? I don't think first half.
Well, one shot on target, yeah.
Okay, and we're having a bit of a go, I guess. It's poor from Kenlock. I mean, Kenlock just a bit like we've described in recent weeks. How I see it, Connolly just tries to anticipate and tries to nick the ball off the winger, tries to get in first, misjudges it, just gets rolled by Jota. My take on that is where it was taking place, probably just in the Wolves half. If that had been Knudsen playing there, it'd have gone right through him. It'd have gone through the man. May have even picked up a yellow, but he'd have been strong enough there, Knudsen, not to get rolled. That's my take on it. Anyway, he's got a free run then. He's got a fairly free run on the right, and again we get a bit unlucky. It's not a great cross, but it deflects. Again, I'm sure this is similar to like the Adoma goal at Villa. It gets deflected off. I think it's Chambers' back. It's not a particularly good ball in from Jota. The rest from then on is sublime. I mean, it goes to £13 million. I shouldn't say that, but Caballero gets a ball out of his feet. And I thought when I first saw it, I thought that's clever. He's used Chambers or he's used someone as a shield, but he doesn't really. Bas, he's got no chance. He just drills it with some curl. 22 yards, right low in the corner. It's a great goal, really great finish. But just poor. One mistake from Kenlock, and a little bit unlucky. It deflects off Chambers' back. Someone, perhaps Webster, might have got a block on it had it not. But after that, class finish. Bart, no chance.
Yeah. Caballero 7 million, Dave. If you're thinking of Costa.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of Costa, aren't I? Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. With the tackle, because I had someone on the YouTube video say, "Nah, Ben, you need to watch that again. That's a foul." And I watched it like 4 or 5 times and couldn't tell whether it was a foul or not, which probably means it wasn't. I liked Mick's quote because Mick says, you've seen them given, but in that situation, I don't want to see the blue shirt on his bum.
No. He tries to commit. I think he almost tries to get the ball from the wrong side.
He's favourite.
At the wrong side of it, though, isn't it? If he's outside, if he's trying to hook it round, then Jota's going inside, but he's the wrong side of him, so he misses that, and Jota's away, and they're good players, aren't they?
What I will say, Dave, that you wouldn't have seen on the TV coverage is that for the 5 or 10 minutes before that, and Selena wasn't bad, but they identified Selena and Kenlock particularly as right. We're going to have a go at these two.
Because I suppose down our right side was obviously Spence
and Ward, way more solid.
Yeah.
So I've got down at half-time, Ipswich undone by one mistake. Team shape and system much better. Garner was doing a really good job, kind of pillaging up front, and I feel a bit sorry for Mick because it was
pillaging.
Yeah, it was that mistake that undid him, and I guess the plan was to try and go as long as you can and then bring McGoldrick in, but shame.
It's the same old. It's a bit of the same at Villa, a bit of the same at Borough. You're kneeling at half time, and you've got something to build on, and you frustrate them. You build 5 minutes, 10 minutes on that. You get to the hour and still 0-0, and hey, but you're on the back foot. Never mind.
Yeah. So into the second half, Webster tries one of his now legendary diagonal balls and completely undercooks it. Wolves break on him, and Jota puts in Cavaliero, and Webster does really well to get back. He's had a good 6 weeks or so.
He's magnificent. He's 2-footed. He's one of the honestly, Ben. I watched him yesterday. He's left foot. Now he's so good with his left foot that I can't even tell what his natural side is. Almost, he is so good.
Nice build up down the left. Kenlock gets Brew in. Brew doesn't cross it. He plays it inside to Selena, who has a nice touch, and he fires the ball into Waghorn, who has a good touch. He gets hold of the shot, but just pulls it wide. That was a good chance.
Yeah.
That was in the context of this game away at the league leaders. That was the good chance.
Yeah, on his right foot. Yeah, it was pinged in. Great first touch. Yeah, he just dragged it, didn't he? Because I think had he hit the keeper, wouldn't have saved that in the corner because he got a lot of power on it too. And
Ipswich force a corner, attacking free kick after that, and they're really on top for 5 or 6 minutes there, having a really good go at them. Jota with a nice give and go on 59. Left foot shanks it wide. And what I've written in my notes, Dave, is that Ipswich having more of a go at that point actually suited Wolves. It sped their play up a little bit. Caballero goes out, and Bakari comes in. Brew out, and Ted Bishop comes in. More of him in the next game. Neves smashes one over. Waghorn takes a yellow for a miscontrol and then a foul. Neves with a professional foul and a yellow. So then on 71, Mikax, in a very timely fashion in this game, more of that later, Waghorn out and McGoldrick in, hopefully to give you the quality when you do get your chance. And just these subs so Bonatini goes out and Costa goes in, and Garner goes out, and Sears goes in. Connolly with a pull for a yellow. Neves smashes a free kick over. Then it gets a little bit stretched, and you do get a couple of moments from Neves where he walks up to the back four. We've got men behind the ball, everything well positioned, and he just chips it over the top of all of them. Beautiful chip.
Is that the one for Costa? Volleyed over.
Costa kind of swivels with his left foot, Dave, and volleys it over. And then we have a good. By the way, all of this half, Grant Ward. When you get a stretchy game where you're counter-attacking, Grant Ward is so good because he'll get up and down. He'll really stretch the fullback, and he can, in a counter-attack situation, he can really, he's very happy knocking it past the. You don't see it that much because he doesn't seem to get out on the wing very often in a 4-2-3-1. But he's quite happy knocking it past the last man and crossing it, Dave. He was really nice in the second half. Good performance from him. So Ward puts the corner in. Connolly jumps early, can't keep it down. Chambers has to take a yellow on Costa, a tactical foul after he'd slipped between two defenders. Douglas puts a free kick in the side netting. I think Bart might have been beaten on that.
Sorry, who does?
Barry Douglas.
Oh yeah, sorry, of course, yeah. Sorry, thought for a moment. We were denied. You were denied a kind of Scugless on Saturday, weren't you? Because obviously the other half of the Scugless wasn't there.
Jota out and Ndai in, so that's Nuno's defensive substitution. Neves does another beautiful chip. Sayers can't control the header. A couple more counter-attacks for Wolves. Ipswich do win a corner right at the end, but can't do anything.
We got a bit excited on the radio. It sort of like flashed across, they said, but I think
Ward mishit it, and it fooled all the Wolves players and kind of bounced, and you thought, oh, was that deliberate? But it just bounces straight through the box. I can see why they would have got so it's a 1-0 defeat, but for my money, not. I know people get cross with this. Oh, you go away and you lose, and you say it's a good performance. I thought it was pretty good, Dave. I thought the 4-4-2 was a better team shape against the 3-5-2. I thought Garner did really well. The tactic was obviously absorb, hit Garner, and try and get around him. He did his job and won those free kicks. I thought Ward had a really good second half there. Mix transformed Selena into a championship player, if that sounds like a bad thing. What I mean is one that can cope with...
Work ethic,
yeah, that can do the work. And they didn't miss skews. Brew did a good. They miss skews far more in the next game than they do in the Wolves game.
Tell me about it.
But Brew did a good job shepherding
Brew
Connolly.
was good.
Yeah, the only issue was, and I'm really high on Kenlock and Emmanuel and Downs and Nydam. I want them all to do well because they're the guys coming through. But I just think if Kenlock had been Knudsen, just that more. Bit more savvy, bit more powerful, and a bit stronger.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Dave?
Well, my thought, as I say, I wasn't there. I listened to Mick Mills was very good, and is I think as usual probably a bit succinct. And he basically said that he thought it's a much improved showing from the away games. Obviously, we only lost by one, but much improved showing to Borough and Villa. We thought we were perhaps better organised and perhaps better set up for the game. And as you said, perhaps had a bit more of a go. We're a bit more adventurous against Wolves, which everyone said, almost, I think we said last week, look, it's almost a free game. No one expects us to get anything. At least we can have a go, which by the sounds of it, we did. But, they're running away with it, aren't they? I mean, how, just to throw it back on you a bit, how were Wolves at home compared to when you saw them away at Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah, really good question. So they found it more difficult to play at home because I think all the teams are going there and lining up. And I mean, they were whining about Sunderland, who literally came and just defended the whole game. But Sunderland took a point and we didn't. So, it is what it is. But what they were, Dave, was very, very patient. They didn't look like a Warnock team who would, from about minute 55, have just been pummeling you.
It's nil panic. Yeah.
And probably get the win in the end. But they were very patient. And I was going to come back on a point you made. Yeah, about having a go. I thought he judged it just right. I thought he was defensive enough for it to be tight, and obviously only shed one goal. And I thought he was, because it wasn't either Kevin Keegan 1996, but it wasn't Jose Mourinho away in a hard game. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't either either of those things. So I know you said have a go, and do you know what? I came out and I was really worried, and I probably didn't have enough belief in my fellow Ipswich fans. I thought, everyone's going to whine. But generally, I think from the Blue Monday Twitter feed, people were quite positive, Dave.
Yeah. I think people sort of thought, well, okay, we might get a bit of a wallop in here. But no, it was good. And, our man of the match?
Ward for the second half, but the two centre halves generally across the game. I'll give it to Ward just for the threat. I would say Garner did his job well. Three of the back four, and I'm not digging out Kenlock. He's a 19-year-old kid going against a guy on loan from Atletico Madrid. It's hard, but he
put in. Yeah, he's a good footballer. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's a good footballer. I think he's come on a lot in these last couple of seasons. But he is a. Yeah, okay. Saturday, one mistake aside, he's an able deputy for Nutton.
Even our top players will get found out away in the hardest games, won't they? Not just the youngest. But I'd give it to Ward. Opposition player of the week. You're going to love this guy Bolly when Wolves come down.
Oh really?
He's only 26. He's about 6'3" or 4, and
centre half. Yeah,
centre half. He plays on the left hand side of the of the three centre backs because he's not in a two. He's literally got a cigar on. Honestly,
I like it. Love that. That.
Very much playing. He's obviously been sold. Right, you're going to go there. If they don't go up, you can. You don't have to sign. If they go up, they've got an option on you and you sign, but then you're in the Premier League. He's
almost got a free season, hasn't he? Really,
free season of swanning around.
Fantastic.
It's like I work in a primary school. It's like me playing against the primary school kids. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just shake them all off.
That's good, isn't it?
Shove them out.
Yeah, it's good. They've finally found that. All right, they're throwing a lot of money at it, but they've obviously finally found the right coach and finally found the right.
Finally found what I've been looking for. Who sings that?
I don't know.
Some girl band, I think.
It's certainly not U2. No, still haven't found what I'm looking for. No, it wasn't that, was
it?
No,
well, Wolves have found it, though.
I have.
He's called George Mendes.
George Mendes. Yes, of course, the super agent.
Yeah.
I know we're just going to do a bit of a brief run through, just notables. You were at and I know you pick up on this, Friday night you saw another bloody great hole ripped in the parachute, didn't you?
I did, and to those people who like to spread rumours about me having a Norwich City season ticket.
No, we know you have.
I was at the Norwich game. I was up at my sister's in Norwich with my family. So I took in Norwich versus Brentford and realised when I was leaving the game, that's the first time I've seen the away team win at Carrow Road. So it's all setting up for
there we go.
February. But
February.
So Brentford did their kind of slick passing, got the 2 goals this time, and the Barclay stand joined in with the you're effing. They joined in and sung "We're F," and they also we want Delia out as well.
I heard that.
Yeah, the natives
were nestless.
I didn't know what to do when Brentford scored the second, Dave.
You were funny.
I did this. I went.
I never heard that before.
I couldn't cheer.
That was quite funny. You text me in stat and you said you didn't know whether to. You felt like shrieking.
Yeah, I did it
because it went one. It was quite quick. They're 2 goals within like 5 minutes, weren't they? Something like that.
Yeah,
quite quick.
Stuck them in nicely. Yeah.
And something else worth mentioning. Sorry, this is a championship. Be incredible. I don't know if this has ever happened before, but Wednesday 1, Borough 2. And following the game, both managers got sacked.
Get them out, Dave. Get them out. We're going to talk about those two in the roundup though. But a bit more news in between the two games, Dave. So Luke Wolfenden joins Bromley on loan in the National League. He's only 19. I've seen him against Luton and against Palace. Yeah, you think that's a good level for him? He'll go for the month and presumably extend.
If he plays, he's playing. It's decent, decent level. What National Conference 1 is that?
Pass.
I assume, is it?
National League Vanarama, I think it said on TWTD. But what I was going to say,
below the conference.
A little light bulb clicked when you were talking earlier about centre-half cover. Well, if you're sending him on loan, that means Mick's happy with Chambers and Webster, with Smith. And then Spencer or Knudsen as cover, yeah?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Although why he doesn't give young Dominic a go there, I don't know. But anyway, we'll get onto that.
Dave, quick one for you, quick one. Merseyside's favourite newspaper, The Sun, report that Crystal Palace are lining up a bid for Bartosz Białkowski in January. Dave, what would the right number be? Because
5.
According to the $1 Million Man, everybody's got a price.
Do you think 5?
Yeah, I mean, look, let's just preface this by saying the guy's 30 years old and has done well for us. And if he decided, it's not too far from a family, I'm gonna go and give it a crack. I think all Ipswich fans would
deny him that. Absolutely, and he's been absolutely brilliant. I mean, comfortably but perhaps not to you last season, but comfortably player of the year for the last 2 seasons.
In the voting, he's been comfortably,
Well, exactly. He's been absolutely fantastic, and he has saved us points. He really has. Some of the saves, I mean, we've seen them, up and down the country, haven't we? Unbelievable saves.
Just the past few weeks as well, back up to his best.
I think so. I'd say, I don't know about you, but his goalkeepers are hard to judge, but I would say 5. Would that be about right? Would you say? Perhaps
I think
not quite. Maybe 4. 5 might be too much. I don't know.
I think when we discussed this before at the start on the last, as we do every transfer window, someone mailed us, tweeted us a couple of good equivalent players. So, and I think it was sort of 3 to 5.
Yeah,
3 to 5 million for an equivalent player. So look, if he decided, yes, I want to go, you wouldn't be cross. I don't know what the situation is because he's another one of these guys who's got the option on the contract. So the club could
get it. I don't know how soon. So it's odd, isn't it? Because Knudsen's they're already obviously spoken to Knudsen. That's been done.
I can't imagine, Dave, you'd know more about this in your line of business than I would. I can't imagine the wording on one contract would be different than another.
No.
So they could take it now if they wanted. But Dave, I guess they're just going to wait until February because the thing is, if they do get offered 5 million and they don't have to sell, they can ask for 8 million and overquote. And if they get 8 million, they're obviously going to sell, aren't they?
Yeah. No, we'll see. But no, I think you made a good point. No, I don't think any Ipswich fan would deny him that opportunity because you say he's 30, 31. And he's been great for us. Just moving on, it's just 2 or 3 other just points. I'm not dwelling on it too much. First draw, the draw specialist is over. The draw specialist, the draw desert that was for Nottingham Forest had their first draw in 30 games through 1-1 away at Preston North End. Yeah, incredible. Yeah, and a ridiculous goal by Pablo Hernandez for Leeds. I don't know if you saw it. Ridiculous goal. Oh, crazy goal. And Cardiff, Bolton 2, Cardiff 0. More of that in a little while as well. The old Warnock's wheels may have sort of been punctured a little bit, but we'll see.
Don't write that bloke off.
Don't write the Warnock.
Don't write off the Warnock. Yeah. If you want to tweet us in, let us know what the number would be for Bart. We're prefacing this whole thing if he wanted to leave. Yeah. Obviously, we don't want him to go. But if at any point that man says, I want to go and play Premier League, no Ipswich fan can say, you've walked out on us. No, that you just can't. He's 30 years old, and
I've just had I just did have a quick look before we come on air. I always do, just in case. Lastminute.com, and Ian Milne, not surprised, he's come out today and said, "There's nothing in there, nothing in it at all." But we shall see.
Yeah, money talks. Money talks.
Money.
Dirty cash, I want you. Dirty cash,
Dirty
need
cash.
you more. Remember that one?
I do.
Down and out. Down and out. If you could name the artist, I'm impressed with that.
Oh God.
I don't know it.
Oh.
I'll look it up when you're doing some QPR stuff. Should we go to QPR, Dave?
Yeah.
Do we have to? I hear you all say. So we'd set this up by thinking that Mick had been pretty pragmatic with his kind of lineups and identifying 3-point games and whatnot, Dave.
Yeah.
And we expected, right, this is the one he's going to really go for. So the team news comes out and he makes 5 changes. And I'm thinking, well, I kind of respect that because he's going for 6 points. You know, he's saying, well, I'm going to rest my big guys and I think my squad players are good enough to beat QPR. And then I bring back Spence and Selena and Skews for the Derby game, and we're actually going to take 6 points. Do you think that was what he was aiming for?
I think so, Ben, but I don't think he got it right. Do you?
The evidence would suggest not, Dave. So 5 changes. Always look at the evidence, Dave.
Sorry, honestly, go on. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bart in goal. Iorfa comes in for Spence at right back. Chambers and Webster, nice and solid. We like those two. Knudsen comes back at left back, and Connolly. And I'm sure to everybody's pleasure, Ted Bishop starts his first game in
brilliant.
50 years.
Bish.
McGoldrick off to the right, Waghorn off the front, and I know a lot of people won't have been pleased, but I was pleased. I thought, Sears is in, chance 90 minutes against QPR, maybe he can get a goal and build that ever so fragile confidence of his, and Garner up front. So that's your team. QPR come with their kind of two haircuts in one, 2 systems in one. So Smithy's in goal. They then play a back 3, Baptiste, Onur and Robinson. Vosilek plays right wing back and Bidwell plays left wing back. Then there's 3 centre midfielders with Cousins, Longo and Scowen. And none of them really sit and none of them really bomb. There's not a designated. They all just kind of swarm about. And then you had Freeman, another midfielder, pretty much off Silla up front. So just quickly, Dave, you're not allowed to use your hindsight barometer here. What did you think of the team?
Why? I've just put why. Why?
Is that what you thought when it happened? Because I was excited.
Why? What? Really?
Yeah.
Why though? Why? Okay. Why leave out Spence for Iorfa? Why?
To rest Spence because you think Iorfa's good enough to get you through that game.
Okay. All right.
I'm giving you a reason.
No. Devil's advocate. No, fine. The one I did really get though, and I don't know. Mick has come out and almost said it now because the fans. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. The fans were uproar, but Sears in for Selena. I didn't quite understand. I must admit. I mean, Brew was away at a funeral apparently, so Brew wasn't even there.
So Dave, can I ask you one question quickly on Sears? If it had been Ward, Waghorn, and McGoldrick, I don't know, so one of them off to the left. Would you have been? Is it just the presence of Sears that's the problem, or is it the absence of Selena?
I think yesterday it was the absence of Selena. I think it was, Ben.
I think to a lot of people, maybe not you. You're quite a reasonable bloke. I think to a lot of people, the presence of Sears is the problem.
Yeah. I think people are perhaps coming. I mean, we spoke briefly yesterday after the game, and we both like Sears, and we both have been big Sears fans. But as you said, now it's almost there's no defence anymore. Almost is there? Is it Ben out there sitting on the fence? Really, I think it's a bit of both. I mean, that game yesterday was crying out for someone like Selena, something a little bit just that could give you a little bit different. And hindsight, we saw what he could do very briefly in one move when he came on. But great to see Bishop back, fantastic, and we'll get onto that in a minute because that was desperate. Pleased to see McGoldrick start. And I take your point about Iorfa. Obviously, Mick thinks, a game like QPR at home, he's got his eye. You think, okay, he'll step in for Spence, and he has got his eye on the big, which is a big game coming up Saturday at home at Derby on a big role. So
I'm not being funny, Dave. If you apply the same logic people do to Sears, if Iorfa's not good enough to play at home to QPR, send him back. Because he's not good enough to play against anybody. Do you know what I mean? No, it's a good point. He was, in hindsight, he just had a particularly poor game. But no. I would have gone with interesting.
Yeah, mixed. Yeah,
it's never poor with Iorfa. It's just kind of a white knuckle ride, isn't it?
Yeah, he's quite funny actually. Yeah, he's probably a good watch. A good point. He's one of these players. He's never quite got the ball under control, has he? Never quite.
The Paolo Wanchop of right back here.
Oh, now you're talking. Now you are talking. Perhaps that's the answer.
Stick him up front.
Get him in there. Get him up there.
Right. So I thought we started quite well, Dave. So Garner and Sears with a header 1-2.
Good break.
Sorry, quickly. I'll only spend 10 seconds on this. Look up a Mark Haitley, Ali McCoist. They do one heads it to the other, who heads it to the other, and then the other heads it in the goal. It's the best bit of heading you'll ever see. Okay. Yeah, Sears dribble to Waghorn. Oh, sorry, I was supposed to say Garner volleyed left-footed over after the header.
Mate, I can see. Can I just stop you there? I can see mid-January a similar goal between Garner and Moore. Woo!
Okay.
Sorry, your pal Moore.
Yeah, he's my best mate. Nico Yanaris is my best mate. Who played right back for Brentford very well on Friday night. Yeah, he's Arsenal, isn't he? Come on. Sears dribble to Waghorn to McGoldrick, right-footed, chest height, tipped round the post by Smithies. Good football, that, Dave.
Save. Yeah, good hit, good shot. Yeah, he had hit it. Routine save by Smithies. He's a good keeper, other than his brain fart last year that he had at Portman Road. But yeah, good move. Yeah, probably one of our best moves of the whole game, unfortunately, after 3 minutes. But yeah.
Corner, Waghorn does a short one, ends up having to take it right-footed, which is a bit of a waste given how good his left foot is. Chambers really obviously gives Sears a shout and kind of half volleys it. Reasonable chance, Dave?
Yeah, it was a reasonable chance, wasn't it? Yeah. We had a good. You're right, actually. Thinking about that, that came on top of the save from McGoldrick, didn't it? Yeah, we did have a good start. Yeah.
And I'm really reaching for positives for Sears. But what I will say is when they play quick one-touch passing moves, we saw it with him and Fraser. He is good with that. And the guy a couple of seats away from me was saying, what impact does he have? And I did want to say, well, half of Knudson's assists in the first 3 games of the season were, Sears working with him and getting him in the positions. But you end up making ridiculous statements. Making ridiculous statements to try and defend the bloke. But Rangers have a bit of a lucky break. It bounces through to Silla, and I like this from Bart. He stands up really, really well. Silla, I didn't think had a great game.
He couldn't get a ball under control, could he?
Bless him. He takes the ball to the right, and Bart stands up really well. Rangers. So the way I read the pattern now is Rangers start off counter-attacking and then kind of just grow into actually controlling for the middle third of the first half. Dave, would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we'll dwell on this, but I thought yesterday, from that point, the absence of skews was really evident. I thought.
I agree. Rangers.
You can't not. I don't think. Yeah.
Rangers corner. Rangers counter. Good ball from Scowen through our press. Iorfa with a nice last man touch and clearance there. Read that well.
See.
Freeman, good break, threads it through for Cousins. Chambers with the last ditch tackle there. So you can see Rangers kind of on top. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Oh, no, I thought yesterday, you sort of getting onto that, I thought our 2 best players were the centre-backs, actually. I thought Webster had his best game. I thought this season, probably.
So, Dave, I'm only on 15 minutes so far.
Oh, Christ, go on. I thought, sorry, how on earth have you managed to...
Because I make copious notes every game. Hold that thought, though. Nice one-touch move, this one. It goes pinballing around, gets to Garner, and Iorfa makes a good run. And for once, this was actually Garner's fault. He overhits the pass to Iorfa, Dave. But great move and a good overlap.
Was a good pinball wizard.
And I've got here Bishop with the Zidane roulade and then gets fouled.
Loved it. Yeah, that's why I go to the game, mate. Little nuggets like that. Absolutely, you think, yep, there's a player. Just little bits like that. Keeps you going. Yeah, brilliant.
Given away in midfield on 23. Rangers break. Knudsen takes the professional foul for the yellow. The free kick's floated in by Freeman. Bidwell. Yeah, good point. Yeah, Bidwell at the back post. Reasonable chance. And you'd expect a forward to really smash at that, and Bidwell kind of prods at it. Bidwell's a strong bugger as well, isn't he? A lot of people were getting very exasperated that Iorfa was a foot taller than Bidwell, but Bidwell understood that he could outwit him. Do you understand?
Yeah, no, yeah, I do.
Yeah, and corner goes into the back post after that, and Baptiste heads straight over. I've got here Rangers the better side, Ipswich midfield 2 being overrun. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I can't not disagree with that. Yeah, you missed out Connolly. There was a good break. Oh, sorry, have I missed that? A good break from, was that, I don't know, just before half time when was this when Bishop got injured?
Bishop is going to be injured in about another 15 minutes.
Oh my God, you're only up to 30. Where are you up to? 20? How have you done this? Were you at the same game?
Waghorn breaks McGoldrick into the D. Left foot curler from McGoldrick, not that far wide. Bishop with another drive forward, wins the free kick. Bidwell crosses in. Silla tries a kind of horizontal left foot volley, which would have been amazing if it had gone barring in, but really wasn't. And then, Dave, on 40 minutes, what happens here? So Bishop out, Ward in. What happened to Bishop? That was in front of you, wasn't it?
Bishop had a run at Bidwell, I think, right in front of me. So Bishop has the ball. Looks like he's going to put it in right footed, but no, gets it out of his feet and tries to run. I think it's Bidwell, we're left back. Tries to run him outside. Doesn't get the ball in, and in the end, I think it runs out for a goal kick. And then you could see him sort of jogging back, and someone behind me saying, "He's pulled up there." And then you look at him, and he's dragging his leg and stuff like that. And then, and then immediately you can see him looking at the bench. And then they give. I've lost it. I've lost my plot. Yes, who came on for
Ward.
Bishop? Oh, sorry, because it was. Yeah, Ward. Well, yeah, Ward getting warming up, and then of course, then you get to the point where Bishop then sits down and. Mate, he's upset. He is upset. He goes off and he walks off right in front of us, and he's sort of covering his face with his shirt. He's pretty distraught about it all, and it's a shame because again, as the game went on, a lovely bit of skill. He was starting to grow into the game,
But Dave, if he's torn that, he doesn't walk off, yeah.
Oh no, you would assume he hasn't. You would assume it's just a pull. Yeah, not a complete.
So what? Yeah. Leeds game he'll be back. Do you think?
Who knows? A young. Well, Christ, with his injury record, God knows. I just don't know. You hope just a slight, not a full bloody tear. A slight tear. 3 weeks. I don't know.
Sears gets played in on the inside right position. You kind of want him to Michael Owen it straight at goal, but he holds it up. This is the difference now, unfortunately. Crosses it in. Waghorn dummies it to nobody in particular behind him.
Oh, yeah, that's quite good. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Corner right into the 6-yard box, and Sears cannot get anything on it. And on 45 minutes plus one, Dave, Callum Connolly hits a long ranger, parried out by Smithies.
What a tackle, though.
And then Dave... Exactly the same thing. I offer whatever he does, cross or shoot, he needs to do it first time, and he stops, he takes a touch, he positions himself. Garner's saying, "Oh, well, fair enough, then I'll have it, give it me here." And by the time he gets it back to Garner, he's tightly marked and he puts it over, yeah?
Yeah. Ben, you did so well with that first half. I was entertained, and actually, it wasn't, to be fair, the first half wasn't bad, was it?
No. I enjoyed I would have enjoyed it as an entertainment spectacle if the narrative was, right, Mick's struggling and he fixes the problem and we go on to get the win because Mick makes a change. Yeah. So I was saying at halftime, right, well, what happened against Wolves and what happened earlier in the season when we really had no players is Mick is good at coaching 4-4-2. So he's going to bring Selena in at some point, probably for Sears, unfortunately. Going to go 4-4-2. Going to end up with Selena on one side. I don't know. Waghorn on the other side, which he's done. Garner and McGoldrick up front. And that will get us through. I thought that was going to be the narrative, but as we'll find out...
It wasn't.
And this is an amateur podcaster apparently seeing this thing. Were you thinking similar thoughts, Dave?
I certainly was, yeah. We just cried out for him. It just did yesterday, and... go on. Anyway.
And the higher than average crowd of 18,000 were probably thinking about the same things, which I'll ask you about at the end.
Let's face it, hardly 18, so you've got another 4,000 on the gate, and you'd think maybe, I don't know, 2,000 of which probably Boxing Day, only time they come, or thought, we'll give it a look Boxing Day.
I saw a lot of groups of 4 and 5, whole families, wives,
you know what I mean?
Sisters and
children and have come to see. Heard a lot about the much vaunted front four of, Garner, Waghorn, McGoldrick, Selena, and we're left probably disappointed, but go on.
Yeah, I agree. Good counter here down the right by Cousins, and Silly boy, Silla. Why is he offside, though? He's in great position. And he was offside a lot, wasn't he? Silla.
Silla.
Well,
Terrible.
Yeah, and he scored against us, didn't he, in Shepherd's Bush 2 games ago as well? Scored a volley, and I think he got concussed in the game earlier in the season. So he always has an interesting one against Ipswich. Rangers, I've got here, Dave, on 53, and I do think Holloway is, as Rangers legend Paul Finney would say, a bin lid. But he had their press really sorted. He'd obviously told them at half time, look, they've got no midfield. Just run the hell out of them and they're going to give the ball away. And I thought the Rangers press was good in the second half, whatever you say about their team. So Waghorn gives it away in a horrible position. Luongo goes in but gets blocked out. Knudsen, Dave, he then gives it away in the press. Vosilek dribbles at goal and Webster snuffs him out well. Half chance for Ipswich here, and this was it for Sears really. Knudsen overlapping, he's got 6 assists, so he's good at it. Firm cross, and Sears just doesn't really believe in his own header, does he?
No, he doesn't. No.
Smith, one of your favourites, Dave. Smith in, Silla out.
That well-spoken centre forward, he's in. Yeah.
Vosilek in down the right again, low cross, and Chambers with the last-ditch tackle, and then from the corner gets to Vosilek again, and he kind of, I don't know whether he was shooting or crossing, but his kind of chip goes straight over. And then Dave, 83rd minute. So how many minutes into the second half is that? 38.
It's a good 38. Yeah, I mean he was warming up for ages and ages. Like went for he was out of the dugout for like 25 minutes. Selena seemed to me he was. Well, you probably had a better view than that.
No, we didn't.
Every time I looked along the touchline, he was out. Looking back.
He made a point of he was ready to go, wasn't he? He had all his socks were tied up. He had his shirt on underneath, and he just had his bib on over the top. Presumably, that's FA. You have to have something over the top of your kit. But Dave, we talked about Mick being stubborn before. Is this Mick saying, "No, I want the team I picked and deemed good enough to win this game to win this game"? Is that it?
Well, I mean, he's almost come out. We'll get to this now. Almost come out afterwards and said, he whilst he trusts Sears in quite a tight game, he didn't want QPR to nick it. He was still, Sears was there, and while Sears is on, he considers him almost a better defensive option. When the press is on than Selena. You think, really, at home, really? I just don't. I don't get it. I didn't understand that yesterday. Well, I sort of can understand. We had this out. I sort of can understand it. One eye on the Derby game. Okay, Selena's been playing fairly regularly. His first season at this level, really. Give him a rest, but we need a goal. Bring him on. Give him half an hour. Give him 20 minutes, but 7 minutes, and he makes an immediate impression, doesn't he? The one time we really got round the back of them. Well, go on. You're probably about to go there, aren't you?
Yeah. So counter attack here. Waghorn drives forward. Ward is moving through with Scowen. Scowen kind of sort of tugs at him. It's a pretty poor ball by Waghorn in the end.
He wasn't. No way Ward was going to get that ball. Bidwell was going to clear that up anyway. It was
Scowen
from Scowen.
Yeah, takes the yellow. Off he goes.
Have any argument with that?
Selena takes the free kick right-footed, similar position to the one against Wolves, and Smithies has a full-on dive at that, but
not bad effort. Just so probably a bit too close, wasn't he, to get that up and down?
Yeah, that's maybe a good point. So now here's your dribble by Selena against Baptiste. Do you want to describe this one, Dave?
That's the one bit. That's the one time that we took a player on really in the final third, and he runs. He's really good at getting the ball. So on that inside left, old-fashioned position, gets the ball, turns on it, runs at the defender. Squares up the defender, takes him on. Superb, gets to the line, left foot, probably wrong foot.
On the sprint as well, Dave. That's take into account. That's a great cross.
Hangs up a brilliant cross, and it looks a goal. I mean, I'm just expecting Garner to put that in. And here's the controversy, and you can't really see it from the, you can't really see it. I've seen stills on it I think on Facebook and on Twitter. There's someone had a still on it, and it's a really clear handball, isn't it? The arm is out, and it's a handball, isn't it? Nailed on.
It's just this stupid wording of this rule, Dave, because how can you say that it's deliberate?
Well, yeah, you can't, can you?
You can't. Can I say, I think there should be an addendum to that rule that says handball is deliberate unless the ball is directly going into the goal. in which case there's no yellow card or red card, but you give a penalty. There needs to be some kind of addendum to that rule.
I agree. I don't think this guy, from what I can sort of see, I'm not sure he was the last man as such. Were there other defenders covering, or was that?
It's an effort on goal that's been blocked either deliberately or not deliberately by the hand, wasn't it?
I don't know. Have you seen the stills of it? I think someone tweeted it. Have you seen the still of it?
Yeah,
have you seen that?
Stuart Watson sent a tweet from a photographer.
Oh, it was Stuart Watson. Sorry, it was Stuart Watson.
But
I mean, the arm is out, isn't it?
The arm is out. Look good, but unfortunately, it's got to be the distance between the defender and the guy shooting the ball. And I just think if you're the defender, you can always argue if you're only 5 feet away from the guy that it's. How can you?
It's not.
They need to change that word, and it's just so dumb.
It's an odd one, and it will go on forever, won't it? And I guess probably.
I mean, here's the two questions are: Did Rangers get an advantage from the ball hitting that guy's arm? Yes. Can you prove he did it deliberately? No.
No, of course you can't.
It's just it annoys me, but you can't you can't ever, if it's further away, you can say that there's kind of physical evidence that he could have got his arm out the way, but that fast, the ref's always going to have that as a defence, isn't he?
Yeah, you're right. But then they go in the other end, and I must admit, this was in a line with me with players in between. And I couldn't see what happened here with Iorfa. There was another big shout for them.
Yeah, I'll go to you on this one because you're lower down and closer than me. So the cross goes in, and Iorfa in. I don't want to dig the bloke out.
Does he fall over on it? What does he do?
Yeah, he kind of leans into it just to get something on it, and that. My reaction was, that's a penalty as well.
Seriously?
Yeah, I thought.
Wow.
I thought that was a. And that's the difference with the object, the ball travelling. I don't know, however long. I just don't get me wrong. I know there's plenty of Ipswich fans on Twitter who are like, that's a disgusting decision. That's a definite penalty. But just read the law. It says. When the ball is handled deliberately. Yeah,
I mean, here's the thing, Ben. I mean, I know you hate these sort of analogies. He gives it to us. He gives that one to them.
Quite probably, and you're probably right the other way round. He doesn't give one end. He doesn't give one give one the other end. So if
everybody's happy. Everybody's happy.
Well,
yeah. And I think Mick. To be fair, Mick came out afterwards and said, "Yeah, ours looked like a pen," but then, so did theirs. He didn't. Yeah. He didn't question that particularly. Holloway did his usual, up in arms. Oh yeah, theirs was never a penalty. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Holloway he bigged up Mick. I mean, I know they're quite close friends apparently, but he bigged up Mick quite well, didn't he?
Why can't Mick beat him, Dave?
It's odd, isn't it? Don't know. He's got this.
Well,
it's odd, isn't it? So he's got that with Holloway. Yeah, he's got the other thing with the whole thing with Derby, hasn't he? It's quite strange, isn't it?
But Dave, in our little phone call we had yesterday, you were suggesting that it might be that QPR might even have a similar kind of style in.
I think so.
I think hard pressing, not necessarily overly football-y, and it.
I think yesterday was perfect. You think of the last two home games, which I've really enjoyed. The Forest and the Reading, possession and possession, trying to pass through it, and us hitting them on the break. Well, there wasn't any of that yesterday. They were quite direct. Don't get me wrong, nice players in midfield. Like Freeman a lot. I think he's a class player.
Well, really. Shall we just quickly say opposition player of the week then, Dave?
Yeah, I'd probably give it. Let me think. Yeah, I'd give it to him. The centre halves play well. Garner didn't get a lot of change up there. They're big units, aren't they? But
I'd say Freeman, wouldn't you?
I mean, yeah, good player. Yeah, I always liked him. And I think for us, Ben, I think
Chambers.
One of our two centre halves. I thought Chambers was good. I thought Webster was very good. But yeah, Chambers got some great interceptions.
But Dave, since Chambers has moved fully over from right back, because even when the first games, maybe the first 10, 20 games, he would still have those old. Because my complaint with him always was when he was yelling and screaming at everyone else, and he would every 2 or 3 games make a silly mistake that would give away a chance. Just doesn't seem to be making them anymore, and I think a lot of his captaincy stuff, he's really, I think he's improved quite a lot in the last. Maybe I'm just noticing it more, but a lot of his captaincy stuff now seems to be a little bit more grown up and considered.
Constructed.
Rather than just screaming at every.
I agree.
It's not he who shouts the loudest. It's what you say, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, going through, Iorfa, like you said, was, I won't say poor, interesting.
Well, Bart was a clean sheet, so
didn't
fine.
have a lot to do, really, did he? Kenlock, Knudsen. I thought both fullbacks didn't think he had a great game yesterday. One of his poorer ones I've seen. I thought two centre halves are brilliant. I thought Webster was really good, really, really good. And they look good, coming together to be a good pair, those two. And Chambers was very good. Midfield, Bishop, starting.
It's not
great.
a holding midfielder, Dave. He's not. He can't play that far back. Not in this division,
no. I agree.
And do you agree with me that Connolly is an excellent player, but he needs somebody next to him just to take the burden of positioning everything? And
this yesterday more than any other game summed up Skewes' value to us, I think.
Well, there was no ball out of defence yesterday.
No. Honestly, we really, really miss him. You can see that in a game like that. McGoldrick, he's wide, wasted.
Can I ask you a question? Because this was annoying me yesterday. McGoldrick has barely played off the front, and has scored 8 goals. So why all of a sudden am I hearing on radio? Is it just they needed a narrative for yesterday on McGoldrick's out of position? He's played there all the while and been bloody brilliant for most of it.
Yeah, he was a bit out of it. He wasn't great yesterday. I thought he was just on the periphery of things yesterday.
I think he wasn't great because it was a poor performance and he's just coming back. Not because he was playing to the side.
Very good point. Sears, no, he wasn't at it. I tell you what, Waghorn had a poor game for him yesterday. His touch, he gave the ball away. I think he was getting quite frustrated actually because I think home games. I think he just comes to every home game thinking he's just going to Garner, tough job. Anua and big lump centre back.
Dave, I know you're probably sighing in your head thinking, "Oh, Ben, you're just going to defend Garner, whatever does." I think he pretty much always does his job, which is to go in there. And now you've mentioned it, I've been watching him on defensive corners. You see that diving header after about 20 minutes?
He's magnificent. He's as effective in our box as he is in the opposition some games. In fact, more probably yesterday again. But he was yesterday. He was more effective in our box than he is in the opposition.
Dave, I'm gonna read out the tweets, and then can you have a think while I'm doing the tweets? I just want you to just deconstruct the Sears thing and just whether it's now run its course. Okay, so let me do the tweets. Okay, so at Ollie Friston, at Ollie Friston. Real problem was nobody willing to take the ball off the back four, missing Skewes, ? So reverting to long balls. There was no plan B to when this didn't work, and introducing Selena till 83 showed a lack of ambition. Only positive was Chambers and Webster, who looked very secure. I think he's nailed that, hasn't he, Dave?
Yes.
Nick Pearman. Neither side did enough to win yesterday. Good to get clean sheet, and thought Chambers and Bart the positives. Defence tightened up in the last few games, but at the same time, goals have dried up too. Still in a good position in the table at the halfway point despite injuries. At Ipswich, Richard, Mick dismissed strengthening in January. Surely our diminishing number of midfielders means he'll have to. Yeah, I think we agree with that. Kiefer Moore returning means we won't need to rely on out-of-sorts Sears as cover up front. But do we need better wide cover than him too? Fair point. Lofted on drive, that's slower ball, isn't it? A dismal Yuletide return thus far, not good enough. In typical mixed style, shuffles the pack far too hard, so too many. Thought changes were right probably, but too many.
Agreed.
If he was going to do that, then the weaker side should have been fielded against Wolves in an attempt to get 3 points against inferior QPR. Pressure now on, Derby a must win, you agree?
Yeah.
And I think this is ITFC. Alex, horrendous day out. Ref with some blame, most on McCarthy. For such an antiquated manager from times when players completed 90 minutes, after 90 minutes he changes far too often. Spencer's a footballer. Iorfa is an athlete. Ward / Bish with Connolly, not a good midfield too. I think we agree with all of that. Right, so you've done your opposition player of the week. So look, let's just do this Sears thing. Has it just run its course now?
Bennett has. Sears can only play. It has, and he's not going to play in that position. Sears, we all know, was most effective that first season and a little bit, in the season after, up front in a 2 with Murphy. And he's not, sorry, and it'd probably be effective now. All right, he's probably lost all his confidence in front of goal because he never gets in those positions now. But, up front in a 2 with Garner, wouldn't mind it. Give him a go. If it transpires and we have to, that we have to one day play like that, I haven't got a problem with that. Anywhere else, mate, he's lost.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's do the roundup, Dave. So Millwall 2, Wolves 2. Wolves draw, but go 8 points clear nonetheless.
Yeah, Millwall are just obdurate at home, aren't they? They're
I
they're
said
tricky.
that, didn't I? After the 4-3, I know I repeat myself. But...
You did. Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, Wolves 2-1 up. Yeah, they came back. I mean, Wolves. I mean, last 10, won 8, drawn 2. That's promotion form.
You reckon? Bristol City 2, Reading 0. Into second place come Bristol City, 6 wins and 7. Man. But more importantly, Dave, Lee Johnson defeats Jose Mourinho in the League Cup to reach the semi-finals. Wow.
What? Joe Bryan, Thunder Bastard, Venomous. What describe?
I've seen it. I saw the winning goal.
No way.
No,
please watch it. YouTube that. Joe Bryan, you would love that. He rifles one in left foot from an angle. It is unbelievable. Great stuff. You know, that club is on a riding the wave, isn't it, at the moment? It really is.
And do you think? Well, let's do Cardiff, and then I'll ask you that question. Cardiff 2, Fulham 4. So Cardiff lose at home for the first time and their second defeat on the trot.
Yeah.
Fulham 4 wins in 6, and it's his first game of the new year. The problem I've got is if you just give me Neil Warnock versus Lee Johnson with half a season, Neil Warnock's going to win every time. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're probably right. He'll find a way, won't he? Ridiculous goal in this game, finished by that kid Sessegnon. Absolutely balmy goal. Just ball played up to him, kills it. Just, I don't know if you've seen these goals. Great goal. And a lovely goal for 4-2, right, 98th minute by... Again, you'd like this. They're pushing up the balls. They're all pushing up Cardiff from a corner. The ball's cleared, and Johansson has a run from like 60 yards and just chips it over the ridiculous goal. Yeah,
God,
6 points off the playoff. They're the sort of team starting to score goals as now. Fulham 6 points off the playoffs.
And every time they play, just these names are now coming up: Johansson, Kearney, McDonald, Aite, Sessegnon.
And I don't think it's any coincidence that now Kearney's got games under his belt now. He was out for ages, and this is probably his 4th or 5th game back, games under his belt. Yeah, they would be... Yeah, I can see them putting a run together. They're just a lovely side, aren't they?
Lovely side.
Good side.
Hull 0, Derby 0. Derby's win streak is halted away at Hull, but they still have the 4th best away record in the division, which will be tested. But we'll speak more about Derby at the end.
He'll do that. I mean, unbeaten now in 8, and that was their 5th clean sheet in a row.
Lovely stuff. Burton 1, Leeds 2. I had a look at Leeds' form. They're literally good for 8 games, bad for 8 games, then good for 8 games. So expect them to fall like a stone now, yes?
Up until the weekend, I think they had exactly pretty much the same record as us. May have drawn one more game. It was like 11-2-9 or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, they found a way, and your fave scored again. Good finish by up on the roof scored.
When this old world starts getting me down, people down, up on the roof, on the roof.
Robson and Jerome.
Oh no, it's got to be some awesome
Drifters.
50s. Drifters,
wasn't it?
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
Sheffield United 3, Sunderland 0. Sheffield end their dismal run. They're coming here in the FA Cup. Sunderland still in danger at the bottom there, Dave, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Can I stop you a minute?
Yeah.
Adventures of Stevie V.
What's
Dirty
that?
Cash. Dirty Cash.
Did you Google it?
No, I remembered it.
No,
Adventures of Stevie V. Yes, I did.
Really?
I did. Yes, I did.
Actually, I have to say, the chances of you doing a podcast and Googling something at the same time are...
No, it wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't happen.
Minimal.
Say, okay, well done. Adventures of Stevie...
Thanks, mate.
Stevie... Okay, well, that's Song of the Week done then, yeah. Money Talks.
Thanks, mate.
Money Talks at Middlesbrough as well. They've gone for Tony Pulis over Gary Monk. What do you think of that, Dave?
Yeah.
What's that noise?
That's one of them. I don't know, because I thought he'd have held on for the old Welsh, bit of Welsh job, really. But yeah, it's an odd one there. But then again, in the little brief conversation that we had last night, you probably hit the nail last night when I said, well, that's a bit ironic because apparently they got rid of Monk because they weren't happy with the style of football. But you said, but yes, Pulis perhaps will get them up. But more importantly than that, Pulis, if they do get up, will probably keep them up, which is a very good. Which I thought was pretty good from you. Yeah, a somber longer finish. New manager, you'd expect them to be... I don't think I've said this recently. You'd expect them to be there or thereabouts.
Thereabouts. Brentford 2, Villa 1. Lovely tweet I saw from our friends at the Besotted podcast. apparently they always get referred to as teams like Brentford. So, and
love.
Dave, great news! 626 days after being injured at Ipswich Town, Alan Judge returns to the Brentford matchday squad. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! Did he get on or not?
I have no idea, but lovely to see him.
Let's look at that. Oh, that's great news. We're only speaking about that. No, that's very good. Villa, no winning 5 now. I think they've got like an injury plague. I think, but your man, not your man. Sorry, that's Nico, isn't it? But a winner by. You've got that again.
Yeah.
2 defeats. 2 defeats in 17. 2 defeats in 17 for Brentford.
17. Wow.
Yeah. Well, they had a really. Bloody! I think they lost the first 6 almost, didn't they? They didn't win it. They lost 5, drew 1. Yeah, coming good. What we got next? Barnsley 0, Preston 0. Crap.
But a Chinese consortium,
however,
including a Chinese billionaire and the baseball boss who inspired the Hollywood film Moneyball, have taken control of Barnsley. Chien Lee is joined on the Championship Club's board by baseball pioneer Billy Bean, as well as investors Paul Conway, Grace Hung, and Nirav Parekh. Do you think they're missing a Mick McCarthy up there?
Oh, I think they might be. Can you imagine him? He'd go mad with all that money, wouldn't he? Pacific Media Group, yeah, Chin Lee. That's going to be interesting.
He would go crazy, Dave. He would go.
We love him.
He would get Tesco finest pancakes and eat them for breakfast, wouldn't he? He would go for the £1.75 ones, wouldn't he?
Mate, he'd be the sort of person that would drive 8 service stations on a motorway to find an M&S food. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think Mr. Heckingbottom's days could be numbered. I don't know, but I've got a feeling they might be.
Yes, Forest 0, Wednesday 3. Wednesday need a new manager, and they are said to be plotting an ambitious approach for Shakhtar Donetsk, Paulo Fonseca in their hunt for a new manager. Yeah.
Wow.
But Dave, let's go to some parachute watch, and it's Birmingham 0. Norwich 2. How's
patch? A little small patch. First away win since. Oh, when was that? October the 22nd. I was languishing.
Piss off, was it?
I was languishing. I was languishing in hospital then. Yeah, it's Birmingham just 2 wins in 13 under contract. I think, unfortunately, we need it. We don't want ill of anybody, but I wouldn't be too averse to sort of Pritchard twanging a hammy or something like that, because he's sort of worryingly come back in the sport, hasn't he?
I saw them, and it just does not work with Pritchard and Maddison. They need to figure out a way of.
Too similar.
Yeah, it's very similar actually. The 4-2-3-1, trying to get your creative players in. I've got a theory, Dave. Right, that we don't. I think we want Fark to win a few games. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because we do.
We don't want him to lose all of them. We want him to win a few because.
You don't want to go mad.
Yeah, because what if they fire him? What if they fire him and hire someone really good?
Yeah, and they win 12 on the spin. Yeah, we don't want
so
that.
the odd win is okay, I think.
And I think it will be the odd win because it just conversely, I think they had Birmingham, and I believe they've got next game up. I believe they've got Burton.
Oh.
Oh no, shit. One game I didn't think about. I think coming up in the weekend is Wolves against Bristol City.
Oh, that'd be a really good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we go to that one instead of Derby? There we go. Right, here's your extrapolation, Dave. Ipswich are now on... I can't even talk.
Yeah.
Ipswich are now 10th on 36 points from 24 games, and it gives that really boring average of 1.5 points per game, projecting 69. Remember, 1.5 is the kind of, okay, acceptable. Above that is good, and below that is meh. So we're right on acceptable, I think. Top minutes, it goes Bart, Knudsen, Skews, Garner, Spence. Top goals, well, 2 games and no more. So Waghorn 10, McGoldrick 8, Selina 7, Garner 6. Assists, still Mr. Knudsen with 6. Ward and Waghorn on 5. McGoldrick and Spence on 3. And Dave, given Derby's clean sheet record, it's a difficult one. Should we go to the Renegade stat man, Dave?
Yeah, Stat. Yeah, saw Stat. Spent a very pleasant morning with Stat yesterday, seeing... because it's right opposite his front door, seeing Ipswich Wanderers spring a major surprise and beat Felixstowe Town yesterday. Good game too. Good support up there. Bit breezy, bit windy, bit bloody cold, but yeah, thoroughly entertaining. Boxing Day morning, not quite so entertaining in the afternoon. But anyway, it's good.
Good stuff. Statman says, "Easy lads, I raise my glass to you both for yet another fantastic year of the Blue Monday podcast. Keep up the good work." Well, thank you, Stefan.
Did you?
Can I just say, people keep coming up to me at Ipswich Town. The other day I was at the game. I'm walking down the thing, and some guy walks by me, hits me on the back, and goes, "Great podcast," and just walks off. Can I say, if you do that, that is really awesome. Lots of people do. So yeah, it doesn't go unnoticed when you do see me and Dave at Ipswich. So if you do see us, we'd love to talk to you. And when we do it for free, and when you say you enjoy it, that really is awesome. And I've had several people the last few weeks coming up to me and saying such things, and this guy who just walked by and said it, very alpha male.
It's nice.
It's nice.
Yeah,
really,
it's nice.
Really cool. So please do that if you see us. If you don't want to, then you don't have to.
Just shit. There come the podcast guys. Run.
Pair of idiots.
Hide.
Statman goes on. Sorry, Stat, I've interrupted you there. Did you know that Saturday's result was the 14th time in 2017 that Town have failed to score? This is way below 2016's total of 21 games where Ipswich failed to score. But still, 35 goalless games for Ipswich in 2 consecutive calendar years seemed a lot to me. Is it a club record, I pondered? Not quite. If Town failed to score against Derby on Saturday, 36 goalless games will place it joint third. In second place are calendar years 84 and 85. Bobby Ferguson's shot-shy strikers drew a blank 40 times in those years. Town spiralling towards the trapdoor. Leading the way are calendar years 70 and 71. Baby-faced Bobby Robson was learning his trade at Portman Road, and Town failed to score in 43 games in those 2 years. Cue Dave to recall some story about players not scoring. Wishing you a happy and peaceful 2018. Renegade Statman. We probably played more games in these past 2 years than a lot of those other years as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we would have done, yeah. I mean,
back... increase the likelihood.
Back in the day, back then, it was, 42, wasn't it?
And we're being all soppy, should we say thank you to the Renegade Statman for all his stats
fantastic.
Of the week, and his excellent work on the
history show
this week in ITFC history, which was superb. Out today because we're all in a muddle with our podcast.
We are.
Let's go to the Nasdaq, Dave. So only a bet on the 23rd on the Saturday. So this is James Dack. He is our betting man. And you can follow him on Twitter at JamesDack_99. He has 2 £5 bets per week, one of them on Ipswich Town, one of them on the Championship. Dave, the Nasdaq has been down 3 weeks running. How are your stocks and shares?
My stocks and shares do exceptionally well, actually, Ben. Oh, yeah, I think there was one day last week when the stock market hit all-time high.
Really?
Yeah, it did. Which totally flies in the face of the Nasdaq as we know it.
Well, let's see how we got on this week. So, Ipswich v Wolves, Dave, and he was betting on the total goals, and the number he was betting on was 2.5. But did he say under or did he say over, Dave?
Oh, Wolves away. Oh no, over surely.
He said under.
Oh,
up goes the Nasdaq. And he had a double of Fulham to beat Barnsley. Yes. And Leeds to beat Hull.
Oh my Christ, he's all over it.
It's a Nasdaq double this week, so the Nasdaq
it's a clean sweep.
Is well into. I think he's bought himself a couple of free weeks there, hasn't he?
I think he has. Yeah.
So,
shit, nice.
So well
nice
done,
treble.
Well done, James. Yeah. Good work, and let's see if that's a nice little move of form going into the new year. Right, Dave. How long have we gone? Jesus Christ, hour and 19. We've been good recently,
rambling
haven't
on.
We
have, but there was two games though, weren't there? Two games.
Right.
2 home games. No, 2 home games.
So, 4th place Derby, winter is coming. Well, Derby are coming. 4th in the league, 2 points off the top 2. 10 wins in 14, 9 clean sheets. Vidra on 13 goals, and that's before you've even mentioned Tom Lawrence or David Nugent.
Oh, we scored 2 booties on Saturday, did the Nuge. 2 booties at home for Millwall. Bloody hell. Yeah. Anyway, save them.
So I was at Pride Park where we did a lovely number on them and shut them out quite nicely, and a lot of the game going through Huddleston and him strolling around in front of our press, not really doing a hell of a lot. How did you see this one panning out?
I think this one is we really could do with Skews back, couldn't we?
We could do with Lawrence and Fraser as well, couldn't we?
Yeah. I mean, yesterday, you just look at the strength. I know you sometimes laugh at me for this. You just look at the strength of the squad. Yesterday, I had Lawrence, Russell, George Thorne, Sam Winnall, on the bench yesterday. And they could do a bit like this. They're in the middle of the, well, so hopefully they're at the end of it. But they have these, in recent seasons, they've stuttered, haven't they? Then they have these ridiculous runs. And then let's hope it starts Saturday. Then they'll lose like 6 on the spin. Do you know what I mean? They've done this previous season.
The Wolves of the 90s, as our podcast. So, Dave, are you expecting something like this? So, assuming he still plays 4-2-3-1, Bart, so Spence back, Chambers and Webster, Knudsen in, Hughes back with Connolly, and then just tell me this: in the 4-2-3-1, assume Garner's definitely going to play. Then you've got 4 from Selena, Ward, McGoldrick, Waghorn. Who misses out? Bear in mind, there's defending to do, and Grant Ward is very good at that. And McGoldrick and Selena
I'm going to throw something at you.
You're going to rest Waghorn, aren't you?
I reckon McGoldrick may. I hate to say it. I reckon McGoldrick may miss out Saturday.
You think?
I don't know. Although, hang on, no, Waghorn's been playing. Yeah, you got to play Waghorn. Bloody hell! You must play Waghorn. Yeah. That'll be just typical Mick, just to go with that and leave Selena out again.
One of them's going to miss out.
But I've got a feeling, as he missed out yesterday, I've got a feeling Selena will play, and never thought I'd ever hear myself say this. I think McGoldrick may miss out.
So you think Ward might come in to be a runner in that?
I just think he might. I think a lot of it, Ben. I think a lot of that is going to depend on Skewes' fitness.
Oh, Dave, what I should have said as well, away at Derby, he didn't play 4-2-3-1. He played 4-1-4-1. He played Skewes in a little hole on his own, and then he played a flat midfield 4, which would really, you don't think he'll do that at home?
I don't know. We'll put it past him. If it worked the way, why not? I mean, Christ, we play like the away side at home. I mean, here's another game. Here's another game that could be similar. I mean, you expect again they'll be better at it. Could be similar to the Forest Reading games where a lot of possession. We sit back, and it's going to be a more, because let's face it, Derby are a much nicer side. It's going to be a much better game than yesterday. It just will be, because just watching Derby play, Be nice to see Lawrence back, won't it? Be good, as long as he doesn't turn up too chipper. Don't know, Saturday. Be a hell of a win.
I don't want to put a downer on all of this, but have you seen the games coming up as well? It's like Derby, then Fulham away, which is hard, then Leeds, and Leeds is always, you always enjoy that one.
We usually beat Leeds at home, don't we?
And then I don't know who we got on the 20th, Bolton.
Bolton away.
And then Wolves again on the 27th.
Wolves at home. Oh, no, it won't be Wolves at home, because clearly we'll be in the Cup 4th round that weekend, won't we?
Well, we shall see with that. But, yeah, a few hard ones coming up. But we should probably wrap up, shouldn't we, Dave?
I think we should. We should.
So plans are afoot to try and do some kind of halfway point review, but that would involve me organising it. So watch this space. Assume that the next flagship podcast will come...
Monday.
Yeah, next Monday.
Oh, hang on. No,
I don't know.
New Year's Day.
Whether we do it after this. We'll figure it out. Look out on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at Blue Monday ITFC and find out when the hell the next podcast will be. There might be a preview show with a Derby podcast. I don't know my ass from my elbow, Dave.
Mate, don't worry about it. It's that time of year, you don't know. Tomorrow's Thursday. How's that happen? Thursday? How? Surely it's Tuesday, isn't it? I don't know. When are you next in the booth with Statman then? Not next week, but the week after, I think. Yeah, okay. So the week commencing the 8th, or whatever it is. Yeah, that week. That show's in the can, so you'll definitely get that one anyway. But listen, thank you everybody for listening. Follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom. Dave, you're on Twitter. At Dave Diamond 3. Follow on Facebook.com/Blue Monday ITFC. If you listen on Acast or iTunes, follow us on Acast and give us a 5-star review on, not iTunes, Apple Podcasts. Hasn't been called iTunes for ages now, has it? Thank you for listening. Whatever happens, I'll do a YouTube video on Saturday after the Derby game, so check that out if you need some Blue Monday. Are you doing it? Have you roped anyone in to do a Derby preview? No, I'll work on that. I'm sorry, more pressure. Sorry. Pressure. No, I did have Pressure by Billy Joel. I like that one. Anyway, right, Dave, you do the sign off and then we're going to hang up. Thanks for listening and see you next time. Cheers.